Hello and welcome back to the Knitmancy podcast. I'm Valentina, your host, coming at you from just south of Richmond, Virginia. It is a wonderfully cloudy day, a little bit chilly. I think it's supposed to rain later. Anyway, you can find me, and I'll have all these down below in the description. You can find me on Instagram as Middle of the Madness, on Ravelry as Knittermancer. And I'll have other links down below. You can also find me on Twitch, where I stream every day starting at about 2 o'clock until whenever the dog decides that it's time to play. So that could be a simple couple hour stream, or it can be much longer. And on Twitch I sit there and I play video games and knit and chat, and that's the end of that. God, my hair is looking super greasy, but we're going to go with it. So, I don't have any finished objects. Not really any finished objects. But I do have whips, so I have stuff that returns. I've got something new. Stuff that returned. I have one project that is returned and something new to show off. So, let's get into it. So, to start off, I have my Hue Shift Afghan, which, as I promised, the first block is done. See, this is the warm toned block, and only the warm tones. Oop, there we go. So it goes from like camera doesn't. My lighting must be off, or my white balance is off, or something. So bear with me, because there we go. Starts with a purple one. It fades into pink, red, orange, and this kinda yellow-orange color. Airs on the more yellow end. And as always, the information, the designer yarn, will be down below. That way, if I don't mention something, you have all your information. You can also check my project page on Ravelry for it, but that doesn't contain much information, so I tend to give more information about like the things that I knit, like my comfort big cardi, what I'm wearing today. I think we'll talk about that a little bit later. Yeah, we'll do it that way. So yeah, first block is done. I even went ahead and dealt with my ends. I do like this. It's mindless and sometimes a little bit too much so. And because I finished that one, you know what had to happen? I started what they call section 2, which actually does go this way. So the top row has a dark blue. This is kind of a blue-green. This one's almost a mint color, and I think my next one's like kind of a spring green, like a really pale green, and then yellow. And also, so this is one of the 2 blocks of the warm and the cool tones. And as you can tell, I have two rows done, and I've started the 3rd. And I think what I'm going to do, bear with me with this, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish these 2 squares. I'm going to sew them together, mattress stitch them, whatever. I'm going to attach them together, and then I'm going to do the black, start doing the black border that it calls for. Because of how you do the border, I should be able to do this without causing too much issues later on. And I'll do it for the other half of the blanket. That way I'll have 2 longer pieces that I can just seam together and then do the finish up the border. Because of how the border is done, I think this should work. I think this should be fine. It's just changing up things a little bit. So that's my Hue Shift Afghan. I am so glad it's coming along as quickly as it is. It delights me a little bit. Can't promise it, but a little bit at least. And then for my cast on, I have a sock. I have a sock. It is the Hermione's Everyday Sock pattern, which is a free pattern on Ravelry by Lueder. And it is knit in chromatic yarns. Don't be a sad bear. And yeah, it's on my little 9-inch circulars, Chiaogu 9-inch circulars, because that's my preferred way of knitting socks. I will be doing the heel flapping gusset, which if I can say, I do really well on my 9-inch circulars. And I have a little stitch marker that I myself made. It's a little dragonfly with like a bead that's kind of this translucent amber color, and the ring was once silver, but the silver plating has come off to reveal that it's kind of like coppery, so it matches the little dragonfly really nicely. And so yeah, Don't Be a Sad Bear, Chromatic Yarns. I think it's Hannah of Corner of Crafting Chromatic Yarns. She dyes a bunch of colorways inspired by D&D, which one of my things. Let me tell you, play a good many fun characters. I DM some. It's all good fun. And this colorway is from her Knitical Roll Club from last year. I picked it up in a more recent shop update, and it's inspired by a line from an episode. And the whole bear thing is one of the characters in the first season of Vexalia has a bear named Trinket. Love me a good bear. So really, that is all I've done. Just these two things. It's not a lot. I recognize this. My huge shift Afghan is coming along, and most of the time that's what I end up working on. Like having a sock for if we do things, and since we don't really do things, like there's only so much I can work on a sock with. Dog's running through the house. He must be going to look out the window. And yeah, like life here has been slow. Not a lot has happened. So I guess I'll talk briefly about what I'm wearing, which is my Comfort Fade cardigan. It is a pattern by Andrea Mallory. It is a raglan shaped reverse stockinette open front cardigan with a shawl collar. All of the yarns I used were knit picks, and I just had this all started because I had a thought of like I'd really, let's see, turn up the brightness a little bit. Okay, yeah, you see the colors a little bit better. It's blowing me out, but you can tell the colors a little bit better. Darken it a little bit so I don't look quite as glowy as I did. So all of the yarn is knit picks. It is the Swish DK, which I think that's what it is. It's a superwash wool, superwash merino DK weight. And I had a while ago when I knit this, when I ordered the yarn, I was like, I need the Comfort Fade cardi. I need it in greens. I need it to go from like a dark green to almost in like olivey swampy green. Yeah, see, no you can't. There we go. An olivey swampy green, and some of these colors, I couldn't tell you all the color names. I think like this one might be lemongrass or something. But yeah, I had this image of I needed it this way. And after I got all the colors, I got all the yarns, it came out exactly the way I wanted it to. And, you know, I've noticed that a lot of people now in the knitting community have started, like, well, I mean, it didn't last long, but I know a couple of people did it for a little while at least, was putting pins on their knits. Well, with this cardigan, I had already started kind of doing that, because I'm like, I did it before everyone else started doing it, as that may sound, but it was a kind of a realization. I think it started with my little Mothman here. I needed somewhere for him that like I could show him off a little bit, and because I wore this cardigan for the longest time, like, you know, I may as well. And then I've got my little Less Hate More Love rainbow was part of like a pin pack from Target during Pride Month a while ago. And then my Crybaby Club, I May Cry, but I still get things done in Silver Hollow. Not that you can tell at all that it's holographic. But this one's got hollow glitter in the background and it shines all the colors. So, as I said, like, there's no problem. Again, I'm really into punk fashion. I'm really into the punk kind of subculture sort of thing. More traditional punk. And part of the whole thing is, like, decorate it. Make it your own. You get your leather jacket and you put patches on it, you put pins on it, you know, safety pin it. You make it your own. So even though somebody else might have a similar jacket, it is not the same because you made it your own. You know, and, you know, anti-establishment, that sort of stuff. But, yeah, really, I'd like to see more people really making it their own, and not necessarily, like, you can knit the pattern to pattern. You know, knit the sweater to pattern. Knit the whatever to pattern, but make it your own. Learn to figure out how to do that. If it's adding, I notice a lot of people are doing the visible mending. Gentle Knitter, oh, I can't think of her name. The Gentle Knitter podcast, she recently showed off some visible mending that she did and it was beautiful. I think the Woolly Mammoth Fiber Company, lady who runs that, I don't know her name right off. She did some visible mending and it was really pretty. But you don't need to wear something out to get the opportunity to zhuzh it up. We'll go with that. Because pins, they're not going to damage your knitted fabric the same way that they would damage, say, a woven fabric. Take a sip here. Because you can work your pin, and you know, most of them have these little backings and little spikes. You can work them to where they're not that you can see anything. There we go. That it's between stitches, so it's not actually, you know, splitting your yarn. And you can take them off, you can mix and match, you can, you know. And I think a lot of people just don't do that for whatever reason. And then it's not saying you should. If you don't want to wear it, don't wear it. But there is something to say to kind of wear them. I know a lot of people are buying the little pins that are like skeins of yarn and, you know, knitting themed, and they put them on their project bags, but like, I don't carry around a project bag. I'm not gonna lie, I barely keep my stuff in bags, but I also, this is what leaves the house. I throw it in my regular bag because I don't put stuff in my regular bag because I wear pants with pockets or I wear a sweater with pockets. So I put my phone and my stuff in pockets. So it's not like I also don't carry a purse on my shoulder. I wear more of a crossbody. It's a bag made from recycled tents. Like old school recycled tents, so it's a nice canvas bag. And it's like a crossbody bag with, you know, some leather parts on it. But I just throw it in there so it's hanging off my back and I can just go. I don't know. Because that's kind of hard to put pins and stuff on because of how dense the weave of the canvas is. Like, I can't really put stuff on it. And I do have a couple of, like, I have a jacket. Oh, I made a vest for a cosplay for Wrench from Watch Dogs 2. That, you know, it's part faux leather, part like jean denim. And that I've customized. I put tons. I counted how many studs and spikes were supposed to be on there, and I did it like exactly to the same number. I've got nothing for you. That vest weighs so much. But I also had a different jacket that I had gotten from H&M on like a clearance rack or something from their Division brand. Yes, Division. And it's like a denim-y fabric, and it's an olive green color because I gravitate toward olive greens. And, you know, I've put pins on it, and yes, I put pins and patches. Some of the patches I got from the local creepy shop, rest in pieces, because I just love them so much. And I've been looking for like a back piece to put on that. But, you know, I like to decorate and customize my clothing when I get a chance. I don't do it so much on like my pants and my jeans, but, you know. There are a couple of pant patterns that I want to make, but just haven't really gotten the chance to go looking at fabric and really thinking through what I want to make. I've got part of the fabric for a plague doctor mask, quilted plague doctor mask. I've got fabric for it. I just don't have batting for it or stuff to make the little eye pieces. Not so worried about that. Doesn't help that very, very energetic dog who wants a lot of attention, you know. So, I think I'm going to leave it off there. Yeah. Maybe next week I will have this block done on my Q-shift Afghan. We will see. But until next time, stay healthy, stay well, stay indoors if you can. And, you know, bye.